In this video, I'm going to show you 3 bench press variations that are highly underrated, yet incredibly effective. First one is attaching fat handles to your barbell. What does this accomplish? Well, you're increasing the range of motion by a good inch. We're talking about a deficit bench press. So for all you guys who want a harder variation, this is literally it. And at the same time, because of the thicker handles, you can maneuver your hand placement a little bit more, so less shoulder strain. It's been noted that those who do thick bar training have less shoulder pain in general. Many old school strongmen did exclusively pressing when axle. But the difference now is that you don't need to have another barbell. You can just go to the gym, attach the handles, and you're not reducing the range of motion. Because if your bar is 2 to 3 inches, obviously that's doing the opposite of what I just showed you. So in this way, we're getting the best of all worlds. Your pecs are really gonna light up, so be careful and don't go too heavy right away. In fact, I don't recommend using this variation for max effort work. Bodybuilding, 3 sets of 8 to 12 is where it's at for this. So now, let's talk about the second exercise, which has similar benefits, but we're doing so through a different way. What I'm talking about is the slight decline bench press. This is accomplished by stacking mats at the edge of the bench, where you normally have your feet. This slight angle alteration, I'm gonna say 1 to 4 mats maximum, is going to make a big difference in protecting your shoulders, while allowing you to lift heavier at the same time. You might be able to put up 15 to 20 pounds more on this variation while overloading the triceps a little bit harder. So with the first variation, we increase the range of motion by 1 inch. With this style, we might decrease it. So we got the opposite extremes. And yes, if you're running a program, both variations can be used within the same workout. That'll be a phenomenal technique, actually. So this is not something you see very often. And those who complain about decline bench are typically at an absurd angle, similar to those who do incline benches. It practically looks like a military press. So if you want to be as specific as possible to the regular flat bench, this is the way to do it. It's also another way to override the biological law of accommodation. So for those who are not using bands or chains or much variety within the system, you can easily do the fat grip bench, the standard bench, and then this variation, or the third one, which I'm going to talk about soon. So reducing shoulder strains and overloading at the same time. What more do you want? I would say that this can even become your default bench. If you don't want to do the regular flat, try this. Just putting 1 mat can make a difference in how you feel. I'm telling you right now. And if you're about longevity, you might as well give this a shot. So now this brings me to my final variation, a secret that not many people talk about, but it does account for the anthropometry issue, which is doing close grip bench press with your fingers in the smooth. Having your hands here. Why is this so effective? Well, the same reason that diamond push-ups are effective. And I believe if you look at some EMG research, which is not the most accurate form of data, but regardless, the diamonds have the highest tricep activation. Now, you're obviously not going to do that on a bench press. You're going to strain your wrists, and it's just not practical. Plus, you're not going to be able to get the same range of motion because of the fixed positioning of your hands. But you can at least narrow things out a little bit more. I hear guys talking about, oh, close grip bench is shoulder width apart. That's 100% true, but you can actually go a little bit closer than that. And it can be as simple as starting with your index finger in the smooths. It doesn't have to be on the knurling 100% of the time. And when you consider the fact that many barbells have varying knurlings, it makes even more sense to put your fingers in the smooth. So you narrow things out a little bit, you're going to increase the range of motion and really destroy those triceps. And you're getting more out of less weight. If you can do 350 on a standard close grip bench, you might only be able to get 325 to 330 with this style. So if you feel that the regular close grip bench hasn't served you well, try this version instead. And I would say it's even more beneficial for those who have shorter arms, because in that case, you can't look at the absolute placement of the knurling. You have to base the lift off your own anthropometry. A guy with T-Rex arms might not be able to do benching on the rings. It's going to hurt his shoulders. So a regular close grip bench might be with the fingers in the smooth. Whereas if you're really tall, maybe that's going to be too much range of motion. Your hands are going to look more like this as opposed to this. So it goes back to hand placement and range of motion being arbitrary and, of course, based off our own individual build. So that's what I'm talking about here. And besides that, there's not much else for me to say. These are 3 very simple exercises. You can do them the next time you go in the gym. They're all accomplishing very similar things. You're reducing shoulder strain, developing the triceps a little more, providing variation. You're going to love it. Give them a shot. Let me know how it goes for you.